Today we come to this section called the origination of matter, or the causes of matter. Rupa Samutthana. Now, Buddhism teaches the conditionality of all things, animate and inanimate. So, Rupa can be both animate and inanimate. And so, Rupa must have its conditions or causes. And there are four kinds of causes for the arising of matter. And they are Kama, Citta, Uttu, and Ahara. So you know Kama and you know Citta and Uttu. Literally, Uttu means climate or weather. But in Abhidhamma, Uttu means heat or cold. So it is temperature. And Ahara normally means food. But here, the nutriment inherent in food is called Ahara. So there are these four kinds of causes of Rupa. And we'll study in this chapter which kinds of causes originate which kinds of Rupa. Now, you know there are 28 Rupas or material properties. First, it is Kama. Now, what is Kama here in this particular section? Now, the manual says that 25 kinds of wholesome and unwholesome karma. So karma here means 25 kinds of wholesome and unwholesome karma. Not all karma, because we are dealing with karma that causes rupa. Now 25 kinds of wholesome and unwholesome. Then how many wholesome? All 21 or what? Now, Kama Vajara and Rupa Vajara. Right? So, Kama Vajara, Kusala and Akusala, and Rupa Vajara, Kusala. So, Kama Vajara Kusala 8, Rupa Vajra Kusala 5, 8 and 5, 13, and then, Akusala also, right? Yeah, 12 Akusala, 8 Kama Vajra Kusala, 5 Rupa Vajra Kusala, altogether 25. So Kama means Cetana, accompanying these 25 types of consciousness. And that karma is performed in the past, a past karma. And that karma produces rupa at what moment? Beginning with Padisandhi. Now, but you have to see the Padisandhi Cheta. There are 3 sub-movements of Padisandhi Cheta, right? Arising, presence, and dissolution. So, here it is said that beginning with Padisandhi moment. That means beginning with the first moment of Padisandhi. And it produces Rupa moment by moment. That means at every moment. Now there are 3 sub-movements in Padisandhi. and then 3 sub-movements in Bhavanga, and so on. So at the arising moment, karma produces karma-born rupa. And then at the presence moment also, it produces again. And at the dissolution moment also, it produces again. So karma produces rupa born of karma at every moment in our lives. Actually, every sub-moment. And then where it produces, in one's internal continuum. That means my karma in the past will produce karma-born matter in me and not in you, not in other people, other persons. So karma or volition or cetana accompanying these 25 cetas, that is akusala, kama-vachara kusala, and rupa-vachara kusala. So they produce karma-born matter beginning with the first sub-moment of patisandhi and all through life until the 17 moments reckon backward from death. Now it will become clear when we study the section on how matter arises and how matter disappears in one life. So karma-born matter must disappear with death cheta, chuti cheta. And a lifespan of matter is how many thought moments? 17 thought moments. So the last moment when karma-born rupa arises in one life is 17th thought moment, reckon backward from death consciousness or chuti cheta. Now that will become clear later. So this is how karma-born matter arises. So when we say karma, we do not mean all karmas. We mean only akusala karma, rupa-vachara kusala. Kama-vachara kusala and rupa-vachara kusala. Why not arupa-vachara kusala? Simply because there is no rupa in arupa-vachara realm. So since there is no rupa in arupa-vachara realm, arupa-vachara karma cannot produce rupa. Okay, then this is karma and karma-born matter. Now in the note also, in the guide also, the volition of the wholesome immaterial sphere cetas generate rebirth in the immaterial plane and thus cannot produce material phenomena originating from karma. So they cannot produce karma-born matter simply because there is no matter, no rupa in arupa-vachara realms. Okay, next one is citta. There are 89 cetas, but not all 89 cetas produce rupa. So there are some types of consciousness which have to be accepted. Okay, now you look at the manual, the 75 types of consciousness, 75, excluding the immaterial sphere resultants. That means arupa-vachara vipaka. And the 2 sets of 5-fold sense consciousnesses, that means 10, seeing consciousness and so on, 10. produce material phenomena originating from consciousness. So Chaita here means 75 Chaitas. And those 75 are all Chaitas except Arupa Vajra Vipaka 4 and fivefold sense consciousnesses. So 89 minus 14 equals 75. So these 75 Chaitas produce what is called Chaita born Rupa. Beginning with what moment? Patama Bhavangang, beginning with the first Bhavanga. So after Patisandhi there is Bhavanga, right? So beginning with that first Bhavanga, Chaita produces Chaita born Metta. And when do they produce Metta? Only at the moment of arising. That means the first sub-moment. So Chaita produces, in one life, Chaita produces Chaita born Metta at the first moment of first Bhavanga. And then following that, at every moment of arising, it produces Chaita born Metta, but not at presence moment and dissolution moment. Now that is the difference between Kama born and Chaita born. So Kama born Rupas are produced at every sub-moment in one life. But Chaita born Rupas are produced only at the arising moment of each Chaita. So Chaita born Metta is not produced at the moment of the presence moment of Chaitas and dissolution moment of Chaitas. Now, there are some things we have to understand. Rebirth consciousness and death consciousness, do they produce Metta or not? Now, it is said that rebirth consciousness does not produce Metta, cannot produce Metta, because it has to depend on the weak base, and also it is like a guest. It has just come to a new existence, and so it is like new, and so it cannot produce Chaita born Metta at the moment of Patisandhi. Actually, at the moment of Patisandhi, what arises is Kama born Metta, right? So since Kama born Metta arise at the moment of Patisandhi, Patisandhi Chaita cannot produce Chaita born Metta at that moment. So Patisandhi Chaitas or rebirth consciousnesses are also to be excluded. And then it is said in the books that the death Chaita of an Arahant does not produce any Rupa, but death Chaita of other beings produce Rupa. So here we have to exclude death Chaita of Arahants also. Although we leave them out, the number of Chaitas is the same, because although we leave out the rebirth consciousness, there are Bhavanga consciousnesses, right? And also there are death consciousness of other beings. So the number of Chaitas is the same, 75. But to be exact, to go into detail, then we have to say except rebirth consciousness and except the death consciousness of Arahants. So these types of consciousness do not produce any rupa. Okay, the arupa vajra vipaka cetas, that they do not produce any matter is easy to understand. Simply because there is no rupa in that realm. Then what about the 10 cetas, seeing consciousness and so on? So they do not produce rupa. Why? Now it is said that in order for the cetas to be strong enough to produce matter, they need to be associated with what are called jhana factors, magga factors, and hetus, roots. These types of consciousness are not accompanied by vitaka, vichara, right? Piti and ekagata, and also sukha, no. And also they are not accompanied by any factors of path and any roots. So they are, without them, they have no power to produce matter. That is why they are excluded from the cetas here. So the 4 arupa vajra vipakas do not produce matter because there is no matter in arupa vajra realm. And the 10 cetas do not produce rupa because they are too weak. Why are they too weak? Because they are not accompanied by factors of jhana, factors of path, and hetus. And rebirth consciousness does not produce rupa, and death consciousness of arahant also does not produce rupa. Now, we have to understand at what moment the mental phenomena and material phenomena are strongest. Now, it is said that mental phenomena are strongest at the moment of arising, among the 3 sub-moments. So, cetas and cetasikas are strongest at the moment of arising. That is why they produce, the cetas produce rupa at that moment, and not at presence moment and dissolution moment. But material phenomena are strongest at the moment of presence. You know, material phenomena last for 51 sub-moments. So their presence is 49 sub-moments. Their presence stage is 49 sub-moments. So when they exist for that long, they are strong. So metta is strongest at the moment of presence. That means 49 sub-moments, during 49 sub-moments. And cetas and cetasikas are strongest at the moment of arising. Okay. Now there are some particulars to understand with regard to cetas producing matter, and that is appana javanas. How many appana javanas? How many javanas are appana javanas? 26. Okay. Appana javanas. 26. You take lokuttara to 8. 26. So these appana javanas also uphold the bodily postures. That means in addition to originating matter, they uphold or they maintain the bodily postures also. Okay. So in the chart, I don't have any now. Apana javanas. What color?
Orange.
Orange color. Right. So these two are the same. They produce matter, and at the same time they uphold or they maintain postures. Now when a person is in the jhana, state of jhana, he can sit cross-legged for 7 days. Because jhana javanas are strong so that they can maintain the postures. It's okay. Is that okay? So the maintenance or upholding of the bodily postures is done by the 26 Appana javanas. And then the determining consciousness, Vatthapana, and Kamavajra javanas, and Abhinya, 2 Abhinyas. They produce matter, they support or they maintain postures, and also what? They activate bodily and vocal intimation, vinyatis. So how many chetas are there? Vatthapana, Kamavajra javana, Abhinya. 32, right? Yes. So these 32 chetas produce metta, maintain postures, and produce vinyati, the bodily intimation or vocal intimation. Now in the chart, you have to look at 2 colors, red and green, right? So Vatthapana and Kamavajra javana and Abhinya. So red and green. And then the last one, the 13 javanas accompanied by Somanasa produce smiling too. So the green ones. So the 13 javanas means 4 from Lobha Mula, and 1 from Ahituka, and 8 from Kamavajra, or 4 from Kamavajra Kusala and 4 from Kamavajra Kiriya. So these altogether 13 chetas produce metta, maintain postures, and produce verbal, bodily and vocal intimation, and also produce smiling. So this chart shows what chetas cause what rupa. So the yellow color ones produce only rupa only. And then orange color, they produce rupa and they maintain posture. Now I say they maintain or they uphold because they do not produce postures, but they keep the postures intact. Because in order to have postures, there must be vinyati, and they do not produce vinyati, so they cannot create or they cannot produce postures. But the postures already there, they maintain or they support. So those that support postures are orange color. And then there are chetas that produce metta and support postures and also vinyati intimation. So they are shown with red color. And then there are chetas that produce all four of them. Now, the fifth, Rupa Vajra, Kusala and Kiriya, have two colors. Now that means fifth jhanas can be ordinary fifth jhanas and abhinya fifth jhanas. So if they are ordinary, they do not produce intimation. But when they are abhinyas, they produce intimation also. So they are colored half orange and half red. So when we say 26 apana jhavanas, we mean ordinary fifth jhana, including ordinary fifth jhana. And we do not include abhinya then. So when we say the 26 apana jhavanas uphold postures, we mean ordinary fifth jhana. But when we say Vottabana, Kamavajra jhavana and abhinyas produce metta, uphold postures and cause intimation, we mean fifth jhana that are abhinyas. So that to show that the fifth jhanas are colored, have two colors. So if we want to know how many chetas produce metta, then we take all colors. And how many chetas produce, support postures? Orange, red, and green. Right? Orange. How many chetas produce metta and support postures? Orange, red, and green, right? Then how many chetas produce intimation, vinyati? Red and green, right? And how many chetas produce smiling also? Only green, right? And how many chetas do not produce metta? Those without color. Okay, so this we have to break our rule here because I put different colors here. I cannot put just red and blue here. Okay, now with regard to those that produce smiling also, there are 13 of them, right? So with these chetas, people smile. Now, putojanas smile with how many chetas? 4 Lobha Mula accompanied by Somanasa and 4 Kamavajra Kusala accompanied by Somanasa. So with one of these 8 types of consciousness, putojanas smile. What about what are called trainees, sikhas? That means Sotapanna, Sakadagami and Anagami. With how many chetas do they smile? 6. So 2 from Lobha Mula, right? That is not accompanied by wrong view, So that means first, second, or third, fourth? Third, fourth. So third and fourth Lobha Mula Chetas, and then 4 Kamavajra Kusala Chetas accompanied by Somanasa. So with one of these 6 Chetas, trainees smile. What about Arahants? With how many Chetas do they smile? 5. Hasitobhada and Kamavajra Kiriya accompanied by Somanasa. So Puthojana smiled with 8 Chetas. Trainees smiled with 6 Chetas. Arahants smiled with 5 Chetas. What about Buddhas? Huh? Now, there were some teachers who thought that Buddhas did not smile with Hasitobhada. But the common opinion of teachers is not. They don't accept that. Those who said Buddhas did not smile with Hasitobhada give this reason. Now, it is said that all bodily actions of Buddha follow wisdom. That means follow jnana, knowledge. But this Hasitobhada has no jnana, it is not even hetus. So, since it is ahetuka cheta, it does not follow wisdom, and so since it is said that all Buddhas' bodily actions are followed by wisdom, follow wisdom, so Buddhas do not smile with Hasitobhada chetas. But the common opinion is Buddhas did smile with Hasitobhada chetas. Now, when Buddha smiled first, he may looked at the Buddha saw somebody and he smiled. That means he may look his past by his knowledge of past time, or he may look into the future of this person by his supernormal power, which can see the future. So these seeing the past or seeing the future are always accompanied by wisdom. Only after that there is smiling. So we can say that smiling follows wisdom. So Buddhas do smile with Hasitobhada cheta. This is a common opinion of teachers. So according to some, Buddhas do not smile with Hasitobhada cheta because it has no jnana and it does not follow jnana. But the others say that when Buddha smiled, he first looked into the past of that being or looked into the future of that being, and that is jnana. And only after that Buddha smiled. So although it is not accompanied by jnana, it follows jnana, and so Buddha smiled with Hasitobhada also. So Buddhas and Arahants smile with 5 chetas. So that is a common opinion of teachers. The chart on page 249 is the same as this chart in different formats. Now you can check the chart on the board with the chart in the book. Okay, let us see. Greed rooted in joy, right? So greed rooted in joy means how many chetas? 4 green ones of the first column. And they produce metta and maintain posture and produce intimation and produce smiling. Right? Correct. And then greed rooted in equanimity. The other 4. And they produce metta, they maintain posture, and they produce intimation, but not smiling. Correct. Hate-rooted 2, dosa mula 2. What do they produce? Metta, posture, and intimation. Only 3. Correct. And then delusion-rooted, the last 2. Same. Metta, postures, and intimation. No smiling. And then sense consciousness 10, nothing. And then receiving 2. Where are the receiving 2? 2 sampadichanas. What do they produce? Rupa only. So no posture, no intimation, no smiling. Right. And then investigating 3. Rupa only, right? So no posture, no intimation, no smiling. And then 5 sense door adverting, Panchadvara Vajana. Rupa only. No posture and so on. Then mind door adverting, Manodvara Vajana. What? Metta, posture, and intimation. And then Hasitobhara, smile producing, all 4. Then Kamavajara Kusala, accompanied by Somanasa, the first 4. They produce all 4. Metta, postures, intimation, and smiling. And then Kamavajara Kusala accompanied by Upika. They don't produce smiling. So only 3. Then Kamavajara Vipaka, all 8. What do they produce? Rupa only. No posture and so on. And then Kamavajra Kriya accompanied by Somanasa. What do they produce? Metta, posture, intimation, smiling. And then Kamavajra Kriya accompanied by equanimity, only 3. Metta, postures, and intimation, no smiling. Rupavajra Kusala 5. Now, metta and postures. No intimation, no smiling. When you are in jhana, you are still and you do not move, you do not talk. And so there can be no kaya vinyati or vachi vinyati. Okay. And then Rupavajra Vipaka 5. Rupa only. And Rupavajra Kriya 5. Rupa and postures. Okay. Arupavajra Kusala 4. What? 2. Metta and Iddhiyapata. Metta and postures. And Arupavajra Vipaka 4, nothing. Arupavajra Kriya 4, metta and Iddhiyapata. Postures. And then Lokutra, all Lokutra 8, Rupa and postures. No intimation and no smiling. And then direct knowledge 2, that means the 5th, Rupavajra Kusala and Kriya. Here shown by red ones. So they produce metta, postures, and also intimation. Okay, so you may use any chart, the chart in the book or this chart. Okay, now we come to rupa caused by temperature, Uttu. What is Uttu, or what is the temperature here? It means Tejo Dhatu, fire element. So among the four elements, Tejo Dhatu is called Uttu here, heat or cold. So it is translated as temperature. So the fire element, which comprises both cold and heat, on reaching its stage of presence, second sub-moment, produce, according to circumstances, both internal and external material phenomena originating from temperature. Now, Tejo Dhatu is rupa, right? So, it is strong only at its presence moment. So, at the moment of arising, it does not produce matter. But at its presence moment, during 49 sub-moments, it produces Uttu-born matter or temperature-born matter. And where? Both internal and external. Beginning from the stage of presence at the moment of rebirth linking, the internal fire element found in the material groups born of karma combines with the external fire element and starts producing organic material phenomena originating from temperature. Now, at the Patisandhiccheda, there are three moments in Patisandhiccheda. So the first moment is arising moment, so it cannot produce anything. But at the second moment or presence moment of Patisandhiccheda, the internal fire element combines with the external fire element. Now, it is said that internal fire element cannot produce rupa if it does not get the support of external fire element. That means internal heat can produce rupa only when it gets the support of external heat. And external heat is always, we always feel that external heat. And so there is always external heat, even through our bodies, or like mothers, through their body, the external heat gets inside the body and support the internal temperature, and that internal temperature supported by external temperature causes rupa, which is caused by temperature. And what about externally, outside things? So there cannot be no internal temperature. Just the fire element or the temperature produces inorganic material phenomena. So whatever happens outside living beings is called external. So there also the external fire element produces the climatic changes or geological transformations or whatever, and produces the rupa born of Uttu, or rupa born of temperature. So the Uttu or temperature produces matter only at the moment of presence. Now, beginning with the presence moment of Patisandhiccheda. Temperature produces rupa. And it will go on and on producing rupa. And the temperature in the material group born of all four causes produces organic material phenomena born of temperature throughout the course of existence. So all through life, the temperature causes rupa. Now temperature can be among the group of matter caused by all four causes, because it is among the four essentials, and the four essentials are present in every group of rupa. So the group of rupas we will study a few moments later. So the utu, or the temperature, produces rupa when it reaches its presence stage. The rupa which is produced at the present stage of Patisandhiccheda reaches its present stage at the moment of the dissolution moment of Patisandhiccheda, and so on. So we can say that the utu-born matter is produced at almost every moment. One rupa arises, and then at its present stage it produces another rupa. And then that rupa also, when it reaches its present stage, it produces another rupa, and so on and so on, so on. So actually at every moment the utu-born matter is produced. Okay, the last one is nutrition. Nutriment, known as nutritive essence, on reaching its stage of presence, produces material phenomena originating from nutriment at the time it is swallowed. Now, oja, in Pali it is called ahara, and ahara is here said known as oja. Oja means nutritive essence. So what we call ahara in Abhidhamma is not the food itself, but the nutritive essence that is in the food. So that nutriment, on reaching its stage of presence, when it reaches the stage of presence, produces material phenomena originating from nutriment at the time it is swallowed. Now, at the time it is swallowed is said here using ordinary usage, but it does not really mean exactly at the time of swallowing. Even before swallowing, you put something in your mouth and it touches your tongue and then reaches the taste buds, and then it begins to produce matter caused by nutriment. So at the time it is swallowed is just an expression. Actually, even before swallowing, the rupa is produced. Here, there are two different opinions. The common opinion is that the external ahara, external nutriment, say when we eat something, the the nutriment in the food is external food, external ahara. That external ahara, say we eat, and then it comes into contact with internal ahara. So it gets the support of internal ahara and it produces metta. So what produces metta is external ahara, external nutriment. The external nutriment comes into our body and gets contact with internal ahara, and then supported by internal ahara, it produces rupa. Now, if you remember how temperature produces rupa, it is the other way around. So with regard to temperature cause rupa, the internal temperature causes or produces rupa when it gets the support of external temperature. So with regard to temperature-borne rupa, it is the internal temperature that produces metta. But with regard to nutriment-borne rupa, it is the outside, external nutriment which produces metta when it gets the support of internal nutriment. So that is the difference. But there was one teacher, the sub-commentary of Visuddhimagga, took differently. According to him, it is the internal nutritive essence that produces metta, not the external. External is only a support. So in this manual, now guide to section 13, the internal nutritive essence supported by the external produces material phenomena at the moment of presence, starting from the time it is swallowed. So it follows the sub-commentary of Visuddhimagga here. And then the others are taken from Visuddhimagga. The nutritive essence that has reached presence in the material groups originating from nutriment produces a further pure octet, and the nutritive essence in that octet originates still a further octet. Thus the occurrence of octets links up to 10 or 12 times and so on. Now, actually, this passage explains not just rupa produced by Chitta. Rupa produced by nutriment. This passage explains the rupa produced by nutriment which has nutriment as its condition. So it is a little complicated. In Visuddhimagga, there are given sometimes 5, sometimes 6, 6 kinds of the rupa born of Chitta, rupa born of Udu, rupa born of Ahara, and so on. So there, the division is the first, what is Ahara, and then the second is what is that caused by ahara, and the third is what is that which has ahara as its condition, and so on. And so this passage explains that the rupa, one kind of rupa born of ahara producing another kind of rupa born of ahara. So it's go on and on like that. So it is not the explanation of just a simple rupa caused by ahara. This explanation is for rupa caused by ahara, which has ahara as its condition. That means the rupa born of ahara producing another rupa born of ahara. The nutriment taken by a pregnant mother, pervading the body of the embryo, originates materiality in the child. So, what the mother eats, from that the child gets the ahara from. Even nutriment smeared on the body is said to originate materiality. So that is also mentioned in Visuddhimagga. The nutritive essence in the internal groups born of the other three causes also originates several occurrences of pure octets in succession. If we do not study all these in detail, you may not understand this. Or you go to Visuddhimagga. The nutriment taken on one day can support the body for as long as 7 days. So it is what they believe, that say food taken once can support the body for 7 days. But after that, the body may be supported by some other means or some other causes, because a person can be without food for more than 7 days, right? There was a monk in Burma. He demonstrated against the British and he was put in prison and he refused to eat anything. And he was without food for more than 100 days. And eventually he died. So his body may be sustained by his will or the water, from the water he drinks. Although it may be very, very little nutriment he got. But you remember that when people enter into Nirodha Samabhati, human beings can enter for only 7 days, right? And that the reason given is because once eaten, the body can be sustained for 7 days only. But there are animals who hibernate. Right? They don't eat anything for a long time, right? 6 months? Yeah. Maybe they eat something during the hibernation, or they didn't eat at all?
They just sleep.
Yeah. Or they may swallow their own saliva and then they get some nutriment from that. Okay. Now let us go to which material property, which rupa is caused by which cause. Now, heart base, and then 8 indriya rupas. You remember indriya? Faculty. They are caused by karma only. What are the indriya rupas? Yeah? 5 5 sensitivities, and then bhava, 2 bhava, and jivita, right? Jivitindriya. So they are called indriya rupas. So heart base plus these 8, altogether 9, are produced by karma only. And the two intimations are caused by citta only. Right? Right. Now, when I talk about the lifespan of rupa, I always said generally, right? The lifespan of rupa is 51 thought moments, sub-moments, right? That means lifespan of rupa except the two vinyatis and 4 characteristics. Before I didn't tell you that, because I didn't want to confuse you. Okay, now vinyati is here in intimation are born of consciousness. That means they follow consciousness. That means they arise and disappear together with consciousness. So they don't live for 51 sub-moments. In the Abhidhamma, in the Dhammasangani, they are mentioned as citta nupariwati. That means those that follow cittas. So, when we say the lifespan of rupa is 17 thought moments, we mean rupas except the 2 vinyatis and 4 characteristics. Because 4 characteristics are just different marks of the rupas, and so they are not really rupas. And vinyatis also always follow the citta. That means they arise and they disappear along with citta. So they don't last for 17 thought moments. Okay. Now they are caused by citta only. And then sound is caused by what? Citta and utu. Now, sometimes sound is caused by citta, sometimes by utu. Now I'm talking and I'm producing sound, and that sound is caused by what? Citta. Then there may be some noise in my body, my stomach, say, making noise and so on, and that is not caused by citta, right? So that is caused by utu. And then outside, any sound outside, caused by utu. So when we say sound is caused by citta and utu, it means sometimes by citta, sometimes by utu. Not by both citta and utu together. And then the lightness and so on, the 3, lightness, malleability and wieldiness, lahuta, mudita, kamanyata. These 3 are caused by what? Temperature, consciousness and nutriment. Now, these lightness and others, these 3, arise only sometimes, not always. Sometimes you have no lightness of matter, right? When you are dull, when you are sleepy, when you are ill, that there is no lightness, no malleability, and no wieldiness. So they arise, or they exist. Not always. They arise only sometimes. So they cannot be the product of karma, right? If they were product of karma, they must arise every moment. They must always be with us. We wish they were caused by karma, right? It's a pity they do not arise through karma. Okay, so these 3 are caused by citta, utu and ahara only. So when you have a happy frame of mind, say you feel lightness in your body, When the weather is good, you feel lightness. And when you have eaten good food or suitable food, so you feel lightness and so on. So these three are caused by Chitta, Uttu, and Ahara. And then the 8 inseparable rupas. You remember the 8 inseparable rupas? 4 essentials and visible object, smell, taste, ahara. So these 8 are called inseparables. Again, what are the 8? 4 essentials, visible object, smell, taste, nutriment. Yeah. So these 8. So these 8 and space, akasa dhatu, are caused by all 4 causes. So they are caused by Kama, Chitta, Uttu and Ahara by all 4 causes. Actually, Akasa is not caused by anything, but when the groups of matter are produced, then there is always Akasa between these groups of matter. And so they are said to be produced by 4 causes. Because they appear only when the rupa caused by 4 causes arise. Without these rupa, there can be no akasa. So they are said to be caused by 4 causes. And then the 4 characteristics are not caused by any cause. Here also, actually they are not real rupas, and so they are not caused by anything. Now, why the characteristics do not arise from any cause? Now, in the manual itself, it is said the characteristics are not produced by any mode of origin, since their intrinsic nature consists solely in the qualities of being produced, etc. That means they are the nature of those that are produced. When something is produced, there is all these 4 characteristics. So they are not separate material properties, but the qualities of these material properties. That means, say, they are arising and they are staying for some time and their disappearance. Since they are the nature or the essence of the material qualities that are produced, they are said to be not caused by any cause. So 4 characteristics are out of the matter caused by any one of these causes. Now, in the summary, the numbers are given: 18, 15, 13, and 12. 18 are caused by Kama, 15 by Chitta, 13 by Uttu, and 12 by Ahara. Now we'll have to find out the 18. 18 caused by Kama. So which are the 18 caused by Kama? 9 caused by Kama only, and 9 caused by 4 causes. right? Again, you will have to find out 18 caused by karma. Caused by karma means caused by not caused by karma only, but if it is if karma is among the causes, then we say it is caused by karma. So 18 rupas are caused by karma. And what are those 18? 9 caused by karma only, and the other 9 caused by 4 causes. Okay. And then by Chaita they are said 15. Right? Yeah. So what are the 15?
9 for 4 causes.
And then? What about Vinyati? Yes. And Lahuda and others?
Yes.
Yes. So you get altogether?
5.
15.
Yeah, but we get 5.
Hmm?
We get 2 vinyati, 3.
3 lightness and so on.
We get sound.
Sound, yes.
And we get 9
Aviniboga, right. So 8 plus 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Nutrition also, right. And nutrition is among the 8.
No, it's
Space?
space, yeah.
Right, yeah. So altogether 15. Then 13 are caused by Utu. 8 plus what?
Space.
Space. Sound.
No, of sound.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then lightness and so on. So 8 plus 5, 13. And then 12 by nutriment. So 8 plus what? Space and lightness and so on. So 18, 15, 13, 12. 18 caused by karma, 15 caused by chitta, 13 caused by utu, and 12 caused by ahara. Okay. If you do not open to page 252, you have to find out yourself. But they are already given. The 18 that arise from karma are 8 inseparables plus 8 faculties plus heart base plus space. So it is another way of reckoning. The 15 that arise from consciousness are 8 inseparables plus 5 mutables. 5 mutables means intimation and lightness and so on. Sound plus space. The 13 that arise from temperature are 8 inseparables, lightness, triad, sound and space. The 12 that arise from nutriment are 8 inseparables, lightness, triad and space. The 28 material phenomena can be further classified according to their number of causes as follows. So this is an extra. One cause. Those that arise through only one cause. How many? 11. 8 faculties. What cause? What is the cause of 8 faculties? Karma. What is the cause of heart base? Karma. What is the cause of intimations? Jeta. Right. They are caused by one cause, but different causes. Also 2 causes. What? Sound. What are the 2 causes?
Chitta and temperature.
Yes, Chitta and Utu. And then 3 causes, likeness and others.
Citta, Utu, and Ahara.
Ahara, not by karma. Because they don't exist always. Okay, 4 causes. 9. 8 inseparables then space. Causeless. No cause. 4 characteristics. Oh, very good. So, again, I wish you had this chart, but we are still making this chart. So don't worry. If you get this chart, you'll see clearly. So, what are the 4 causes of rupa? Kama, citta, utu, ahara. What is kama? Kama is volition, cetana. Cetana associated with 25 cetas. Which 25 cetas? Akusala, Kamavajara kusala, Rupavajara kusala, Arupavajara kusala.
No arupa.
No arupa? Hey, Rupa Arupa kusala. Yes.
But
It is karma.
Akusala.
Kamavajara, Rupavajara kusala. No. 12 plus 8 plus 5, 25. Okay. Cetas. How many cetas? 75. What do you exclude? Dvipanja Vijnana 10 and 4 Aruvajara Vipaka. Right. And what is Utu? What is temperature? Among the 4 essentials? Fire element. Utu is fire element. And what is ahara? Nutriment or nutritive essence found in everything, right? Because nutriment is one of the inseparables. So even in a rock, there is ahara. And how many are caused by karma? 18. How many by citta? 15. How many by utu? 13. How many by ahara? 12. How many by no cause? 4. Okay. Those caused by only one cause? 11. 2 causes? 1. And by 3 causes? 3. By 4 causes? 9. By no causes? 4. Okay, very good. Maybe we stop here. Huh?